and welcome to episode 20 of the Blackwood Podcast Morning Wood. How things, Ter?
All good, bit quiet.
Don't know why you shouted for, but here we are.
We're looking forward to get back to pre-season now after a good tour. Obviously slow now this time of year, unless we got a presentation now on a third.
You going, Ter?
Yeah, I'll be there. And then obviously back in the season. I know we're not coaching next year.
No, we'll
but
keep it quiet.
I'll be supporting.
So welcome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I know the World Cup is on, but this is more important than football. Thanks to our sponsors, Academy Talent, Health and Social Care Training Company based in Bedwas.
And Bombrugby, based on Instagram. Check its page out for any merch and what he provides there.
So we have a special guest. We like special guests. I think the last one we did was the under-15s before their final. Unfortunately, they lost the final, but what a side that is. They're doing really, really well. So well done to you guys. If you're listening in, to get to a final is a huge achievement in itself. So tonight we have a legend of local rugby, community rugby, played in England and also played his rugby in Penalta Rugby Club. So I think it was 100 games for North Petherton. Matthew Angel. Matthew Angel's with us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Matthew Angel.
Yeah, I think I played something like 80 odd first team games down there and obviously some second team rugby, and I've gone back down on the odd occasion and had to run out for the thirds and things as well. Yeah. So it was a great 2008 we moved down. First thing we done when we moved down there on the Friday night is went out for a drive to look for a rugby club.
Superb.
Lights were on, there was a painter in there doing some decorating, it was one of the coaches as well. Training's Tuesday, and yeah, the rest is history. My name's on the captain's board down there, so it was always nice to go back and take the kids and out.
I think sometimes, like, randomly things like happen like that. So it was sort of like Penalta as well. You played 100 games for Penalta. We'll talk about it later on, but that's an achievement in itself as well. So
the main achievement, but he played for Blackwood as well.
Yes, exactly.
Let's get that right.
Played for the Wood.
I know he played captain.
Captain, yeah. My name's on the board again. I think my daughter sat over there. She comes over. She plays for Penalta Minis, and it was great. She came over the one Sunday, and I must have been the night before, I think, and my wife took a photo of her pointing at my name, and that's a massive honour, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rugby clubs are always going to be there. Those captain boards are always going to be there, and it was a massive honour and privilege to see your name there.
Of course it is. And historically, clubs like you've played for. I mean, I went to North Petherton. I had a wonderful time down there. It's just those the values of the game. I keep saying about values at the moment to these players in the club, and it's that's what brings it in with rugby clubs, and they definitely had that down there.
I obviously 43 now this year, and I come up through rugby clubs when rugby clubs were proper rugby clubs. I don't think it is what it is nowadays, if you know what I mean. Is
culture changes.
Yeah, it is, and it was, like you said, you mentioned values and respect. That was massive back in the day, and I just think. Yeah, it's a lot harder now to have successful rugby.
I think you're right. It is a lot harder. I think the values are still there when you're in the club, but rugby clubs were community, weren't they? And people do so much of the stuff. Kids do so much of the stuff. They're exposed to football, cricket, athletics, and many more. Like rugby used to be their sport, but now I think we're going down a pecking order a little bit. So I think it's not as big as it was. It's not as big as community based, but clubs like Penalta, Blackwood, and the other clubs who got the minis and juniors from young, I think they're the ones that are thriving in the community.
100%. But I think it's brilliant. You drive past here, you go to Asda's on a Sunday, or take the kids on the park down in Ashford, and you see all the kids and how busy it is on a Sunday morning. It's, at the end of the day, that's the future of our game, isn't it?
Yeah. There wasn't many rugby about when I was a kid. Well, I just can't remember really from like 10 to 15. But it must be just school rugby. I remember playing school rugby, but it wasn't as much as it is now. So, on that point, Math, take us from your younger days, maybe into youth set. Did you play mini rugby for Penalta?
Ashford, it was Ashford Manach, mini and junior rugby then at the time, before Penalta kind of come into it. And I played my mini and junior rugby there. I think under 15s and the 16s we were struggling for a youth, so I think we went down. I had a season down in Bedwas, and then back to Penalta Youth then. Kind of lost my way a little bit. Kind of dark fruits come out and women and that, and my kind of head went for a little bit, and kind of missed probably the last 2 years of youth then. and back into senior rugby.
Yeah, so you'd have been
Not
16,
bad.
17 then.
So did you play for Penalta before you went? What was the club you said?
Bedwas, yeah, we had a season down in Bedwas. All our kind of, I think it was the year before we went into youth.
I didn't know that, Matthew.
Yeah, and we had a season down there, and then we all kind of went back in. So it was like it wasn't just one or two; everybody went.
Yeah.
So it was just one of them things that was natural. It happened, and everybody went.
Yeah, that's how it randomly happens. Like for myself now, randomly with this job I'm doing, I started spending time with the youth, and I end up like committing my time to them. So it happens for a reason, doesn't it? I think, like you said, rugby. So you went through your youth years. Did you stay in Penalta then, or is that the time you went down to North Petherton then, was it? Somerset?
Yeah, so 2008, I think it was the year that we got promoted to Division 1. Obviously, it was in and out of the squad with from Division 6 all the way up, really. And then 2008, I think it was, we got promoted to then Division 1. That was the year then. I moved to Somerset in the August, so I kind of missed out then on the Division 1 rugby.
What was that for? My wife was going into uni or something, was it?
Yeah, no, my wife had finished uni, her second degree, and
wow.
couldn't get a job in Wales, so she applied for one in Taunton, and we just made
That's
the
what it
decision.
was, right? I thought it was because she went to uni down there, but brilliant.
Yeah.
So that's when it all started. So it was 80 odd games you played for.
83 or 87 first team games for North Petherton.
What sort of standard is that?
Oh,
Well, relating to the Welsh
I
standard.
always find it difficult to say.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Because English standards are a little bit higher than, aren't they?
Yeah.
For leagues that are relevant to their own holdings.
But I find that strange then, because when you go on tours, and I don't know if you've experienced it, when you take the younger ones on tours, we always tend to be a lot stronger than
Yeah.
They do. They got more resources. I think that there's down to more resources. I think more money, and they're able to play more teams. They got more better facilities, haven't they?
But I think.
Because our North Petherton is a lovely, two grounds.
Brilliant, but I made some
Fantastic
great
place to play
friends
rugby.
down there as well, and friends I still be going down again now for the night in August to catch
Nice.
up with Miles to do.
Yeah.
So
It's a pity the club didn't keep that going. Isn't it?
Yes,
I was hoping that would kept, but there we go. It's something that's always there, and I think it's always there, especially for the youth of Penalta. They can go down there, can't they, and have a weekend. So came back, and Penalta was your club then, and you said that you went through all the leagues.
Yeah, 2013 we come back. I think it was the weekend we moved back. It was the weekend of presentation night, and I'll pop out for a couple of hours.
We remember that one, don't we, Matt?
Yeah.
A few hours later.
They weren't just a couple of hours. Welcome home in style.
That's what rugby does to you. My dad used to come home 4 o'clock every Sunday morning. Yeah.
So you signed then when you got on presentation night for the following season, was it?
Yeah, signed back then with Penalta, 2013. Another 3 or 4 years there then. I think we won the plate down the stadium when we beat, was it Aston Villa? We won on tri-count, was it, or something?
Yeah.
Weird game, really. They had a player sent off the first 20 minutes.
Wasn't it?
And it kind of galvanised them, and I don't know if I had a yellow card that game as well. But
What was our fault? Just a stop in the scrum, I think, wasn't it? But, just on that touch, not so much there, but there's the finals that we played in, or we played in, Penalta. It was such a lull, wasn't it? Every final was such a lull. I think it's just the pressure of finals. I said to the lads, just the Griffins, and I said the under-15s as well, that you just got to try and enjoy that time. I think Penalta struggled, didn't they? Every final they played in, it was like stage fright. They never perform well, did they, Mark?
It's a case of, innit? You get adrenaline up, and you have like an adrenaline dump. You was there, and all of a sudden, then you're actually in there, and like the adrenaline's not there. Then
that's right.
I say you can say that, I suppose, but I think the last one they beat Treorchy. They put 40 odd points in them, didn't they? I think.
Yeah, that was a hell of a game.
So it's
well.
We've had a couple of. It's all about learning, I think, in all aspects of life, I suppose. If you've been there, and a large number of the squad have been there on a number of occasions, there's loads of things you can put in place and recognise.
It's a hell of a thing to play on the National Stadium. I was lucky enough to do it with the Stars,
and they played well. They seemed to have managed well, the Stars, that day. Everybody seemed to be cool, didn't they? I think it was they took to it like.
It's just a brilliant memory, isn't it? And to win it obviously tops you off, but getting it itself is an achievement. And playing on there, but winning on there is, it's the next level there.
So part of the reason coming into Mark, right? You're a community rugby legend, as far as I'm concerned. You've done it all, and you're a role model to these young players coming through, especially from Penalta's point of view. You're involved with that club. But was there times that you suffered mentally through your times? And
yeah, 100%. But I've had struggles, I suppose, just before my 21st birthday. had some personal issues. Won't go into that too much.
No.
But yeah, I suppose that's the first time I've, looking back now, I can probably put my hand on and think, I was going through a rough patch then, and at the time, my buddy was going through a bit of a rough patch as well, and we just hit the pub for like a fortnight solid type of thing. But then moving on, then obviously the monsters come into my life, work, and I think I don't know what it was with work, and I worked for Educate Training, who were a great company to work for, and when I went through a dark patch, they were brilliant with me. The support they offered, and things like that, they were fantastic.
Oh, he's a great guy, Colin. What a guy.
Yeah, a company built on strong values,
Exactly.
and they were brilliant. But I used to get great feedback from managers and things, but I used to have something in the back of my head saying you're not good enough to be in this job. And although I used to get positive feedback from learners and from when someone saying that, that little voice is in the back of your head saying that, it was hard to get out of. And the kids were young at the time. It's a stressful job, and I used to feel like I'd done a shift in the morning, getting these ready for work, school.
I would have thought that's a big part of it, really, Matt, bringing 3 children up. No matter what you're doing in life, that's a tough gig.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I love them to bits. Although they were a key factor in me probably having some of my struggles. They were the reason I kept going as well. And obviously my wife, she's good as gold, worth her weight in gold, and we both work hard to give the kids the best they can. Like,
the one thing I was going to ask is, when you had that bad time, right, you're down low and you're feeling, you was involved in rugby then, yeah? You was playing rugby. Was there any help around then for you to look at? Did you have access to anything at all? Or you just thought that's the way life was and that's the way to live? Or
I think rugby was always my escape. Matilda, my youngest then, she'd be 9 now in September. I can remember the day she was born, because it was a training night, because I was year training then in the evening after she was born in the morning. But rugby was always my escape. That was always my, I'm lucky, I think, because I've got a good social network. There's lots of people out there who haven't got that social network, haven't got close friends and family, and that's where I think a lot of people bottle things up and haven't got that thing to, really, let's go and have a pint.
This might sound a bit of an ignorant question, or an educated question. Obviously, people talk about it, and it's promoted. Make sure you talk to people, don't suffer in silence. But as an individual, do you think there's any symptoms that you can identify in yourself for other people to be aware of? That is there any symptoms that they can identify themselves, or is it just struggles that
Yeah, it's just little struggles and little things can 99% of the time now I have I'm in a really, really good place at the moment, but I think we all have bad days. But it was getting to the point with work, I was cancelling meetings in the afternoon, going home and just putting my head under the duvet type thing, cancelling meetings and things. And I just think if there's anything, if you recognise, if your buddy's doing anything out to that's not normal, and you just have that chat.
Again, sorry to cut you short. I think if we can, it's hard. Obviously when you're having bad days, and what you said, going home and cancelling meetings, that's not a good sign. No. So then, that's perhaps identified. But you see, you see an advert on telly, you see the 2 gentlemen go to football, and one's a miserable bugger, and the other one's cheering, chanting, and they said at the end, it's the miserable one who's done the horrendous thing, and you think, well, hang about, it's the signs are not always there. No. So it's good.
And that's it in men as well, isn't it? We've got this stigma around us, we got to be these big, strong people, and we've got to have that bravado about it. But everybody struggles, and if anybody says they don't, they're lying, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a coping mechanism, and I think it's a minefield with it, right? And I'm really a big fan on mental health. Then I'm not an expert, but I think from my experience, like yourself, like you, people might argue, but rugby for me gives you that grounding to cope. I know you said you went through a bad time, but in my eyes, it brought you back out to where you need to be. Would you say that, or is it part of your work? But I think rugby environment and rugby fraternity does give you that injection of infectious positivity where you think, right, I'm all right by that.
The rugby club is not just, training Tuesday, Thursday and a Saturday. The friendships and relationships you make from being in the rugby club environment is second to none. You job opportunities, people come in to plaster your kids' bedroom walls.
Well, he's supposed to be for nothing, wasn't he, Marv?
But like I said, I would have never met you unless you played up here, you know. And,
For your charge, Terry, does he? I don't know, there we are.
But yeah, I wouldn't have met you if you went for rugby.
No, and that's it, you know, there's still, I had them 2 years over here, 17, 18, 18, 19, I think it was, and it's still, you know, boys I keep in touch with now, and it's...
I'll never forget, you know,
Yeah,
well, we talk about it now, like I went down that club and made some wonderful friendships, but you, I don't know, it was just tremendous. You're a tremendous man, you've got a lovely way about you, you're very kind, you're so passionate and 100% in everything you do, but we just became best mates, and I think that, you know, that's helped me in my life, being friends with you. I've had times where I suffered, but, you know, you've told me your struggles. I think, well, like, if he's struggling, like, you know, it's a common thing. But it's, again...
Remember that time me and Corey went into your house and filled your fridge Christmas time?
Yeah, exactly. Living on my own. One Christmas, I think it was through COVID, Matt, was it? Something's happening, I don't know, but they brought a fridge full of food for me.
Oh, happy
Fair
birthday.
play.
Well, but again, that's
friendship,
it's
isn't it?
gestures,
You know?
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's what his thought. Like, he's bought donuts tonight. You know, it's just those little things. So you captain Blackwood, Matt. You come
2 seasons, yeah.
We'll go off a little bit now and come back.
I think I finished with Penalty when we finished the play. That was it. That was going to be it. And then I think Matthew John, team manager at the time, was he?
Yeah.
Had a conversation with Matthew and Neil Williams. I would say another name, but the kids are there. But we'll keep that. So I came over and had a chat with them, and yeah, that was it. Then I was fully on board there then.
Well, funny enough, it was my first year back in the retirement as well, so we came over.
I tried to stop him, didn't I not?
It was the
I did try to stop him.
It was the first season Neil took over, and in fairness, he did rally round and get a good team, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, he brought a couple of boys out of retirement. Like I was old Bistro right down a meal from I just passed my degree. Called me over, and that's obviously first training session. Nobody knew anybody, did we really?
No.
And
I think they could do with you no math, to be honest.
Good.
An
I tell
asset,
you
you've been
what,
an asset now. You've been an asset to the front row now.
I would love to still be
Yeah,
able to do
I bet.
it.
Oh,
Do you think
I don't miss it until I go and watch a game.
would you be able to play now? You could play not injury wise. You're fit. You're not
I'm
struggling with any shoulder injuries. Or
No.
You'd be all right.
Other than carrying probably 6 stone too much.
that
But
helps, doesn't it?
I love the game, but now, like, I'm watching Josh playing football, Matilda playing rugby. I think I get so much out of that as well, and I take him to watch Cardiff City and things, and you know, I'm doing stuff now with Josh that I was doing with my dad when I was younger.
Fabulous,
So.
isn't it?
well, funny you say that. Like, you know, as we just said at the start, I'm not caught. Gav's taken on a skills development role in the club, but I've stepped away from all coaching and commitment wise because my daughter's netball and it's clashing now, and I can't do the two. Like, she plays on a Saturday now, so again, you just move on. As much as you want, still playing. One, the body gets in the way, and two, you've got commitments, and like the
And
kids.
the rugby club will always be there for you. You can always go down and have a beer. You know, I look at that all Wales sport most Saturdays and look for the Penalty, Blackwood, and then go on the England one and look for North
That's
Peth.
it. Yeah.
You know, it's
So after we've talked around your rugby career, your life, and the process you've been through, and we've talked about values in rugby. It's a big word, Ten. I think the values and that. You know what you can get out of it. So when you was in the struggling time of mental health, how did you cope, Matt, to come out of that? Was it just by chance? Did you seek help, or was it the rugby?
I did seek help. I did Educate put me in touch with a charity, Mind. So I went and had 6 sessions with them, and it was a bit like sitting on a seat like this, where there's like the leather stuff, and you sat there. And after I got up from the first meeting, I was soaking, just sweat.
It's just
because you're stressed, you're worried,
yeah,
you're
anxiety.
anxious.
Anxiety, a lot of it, is it? Anxiety, a lot of it, Matt.
Yeah. And I sat in the waiting room before I was called, looking at the front door, and I thinking I just want to go back out, but I knew I had to do it. Like,
fair play.
And so I had 6 sessions with them, and I think then it was just finding little coping mechanisms and putting things in place that if you wake up and you recognise, I don't feel good today, you know, you can feel something's brewing type of thing, is having coping mechanisms in place. Pick a phone up and speak to somebody, or, you know, get down the gym and do 5k or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
was thinking, not being selfish or arrogant, or, you know, I just thought rugby was the outlet. But you're saying there now, you've had coping mechanisms away from the game to make you manage your mindset every day.
But
So it wasn't just the rugby, Matt.
Yeah, but moving on from like, it's not like Master. It's not just a rugby, as you said. Good community network work was really good.
Yeah.
But what I do like is, and rugby clubs are not the only people that do this. Is I think community sport and communities do it and what have you. But Penalty and Blackwood do the Papyrus every year. We have a touch tournament. 7-a-side touch tournament, and it's just to raise money and raise awareness for mental health.
And sorry to jump in here then, like I've done quite a bit of charity work and set up various things at Penalta and for other mental health charities, and I think having that focus as well is able to help me as well, if that makes sense. And being able to go out and help or speak to people, and it's not something I do all the time, but I do my own podcast sometimes as well on mental health and the Cardiff City stuff.
So that is through Cardiff City, Matt, is it, the podcast?
There's an Ace Podcast Nation YouTube channel. I'll try and get the links and all that for you.
Yeah, check it on that.
And I've done a couple of mental health ones on there. And Cardiff City World is the YouTube where we talk about Cardiff City.
We could actually do a cross podcast session, Ted. That'd be good. Don't you think?
Yeah, it'd be really fun.
Get him in his butty in, innit? Or on the airwaves. But so yeah, I just going to say I just started working with the youth, and that's one thing that I made sure last night when I was telling them, boys, use this as a therapy for you. If you're not feeling good, come train in and spend time with your friends.
I think it's important at that age as well.
You feel better after it.
I had another good buddy of mine, Di Roberts, with the youth. I think I was with the troop, but I think a coach had left with the youth, so I went and helped Di. And I think at that age it's important. You're not just trying to make them better rugby players on the pitch. You're trying to make them better young men
become
off the field and things like that.
So
it's it was difficult coming out with COVID, I think, when they come back, because
you'd be good coaching, Matt, wouldn't you? Do you think?
It is, but yeah,
time.
But time and priorities.
Time.
My priorities are sat there now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
in years to come, I think you'd be an absolute asset to any young group, or inspiration, really. But good stuff. So, like Terry said, next week we've got people coming in relation to the Papyrus tournament day to cover that off. But is there any sort of advice you can give anybody, Matt? Any young people out there? What's the best thing to do if you're feeling rough?
Just seek
if
help.
You're feeling low?
Just seek help. You have a chat. Pick our phone up, and like I said, if he's a friend and you recognise you haven't been training for a couple of sessions, or he's not in the WhatsApp group as much as he should be, pick our phone up and don't take I'm alright the first time as an answer. Keep on him, and even if a couple of you have got to get together and take him out for a beer or go out and have a game of pool or coffee or something is massive. And
there's a lot of social media things going on now, right? Some of it is no good, some of it is good, but I think from a communication point of view, this WhatsApp, you can just audio someone, you can connect them with somebody, so it's vital. Anybody out there, just use your phone and just get somebody to speak back, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Ted?
I totally agree. I say it's a community, and just look out for each other. But if it's happening to yourself, speak to people. Don't suffer in silence. And it's not even just like, we're quite happy to ask for help in a physical aspect. Do us a favour, I need a hand to carry someone around the house, or I'm struggling with childcare, or this and that. People jump to it, so people will help you. So just don't think.
I'd always people say, like, if you broke your leg or you'd fallen over and broke a ball in your leg, you'd go to the doctor and ask him to fix that.
Yeah,
same thing, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? If
yeah,
you've got
it's
something
exactly
not
the
quite
same thing.
right, and you're having thoughts in your head that are not sitting right, go and speak to someone.
Sometimes it's a coping mechanism. I think other people are brought up differently, and you think, right, I don't have to go and ask for that because I can cope with it. But it's always good. Like, I've suffered, like losing my dad last year. I've had times where we all go through it, and it's having that way of coping, isn't it? And rugby is one thing. I think that's the reason we brought Matthew in tonight, because rugby is a great connector for well-being for a start, and to cope with any mental health issues that you have. So if you listen to this, guys, get involved in any sport, but ask for help and seek assistance and talk, isn't it?
And look out for each other.
That's right. So your podcast, Matt, how's that going, Matt?
Yeah, enjoying it, but that was something that came into fruition through COVID, really. I got into watching it because there was nothing else you could do, really.
And is it the Cardiff City podcast, or is it something aside from the club? Are the club involved?
No, nothing to do with the club.
It's
I
aside
think
from the club.
the chap who I do it for, he'd love to obviously have an hand in the club somewhere, but he's moving mountains with it at the moment. So it's
good.
Yeah, I got into it through COVID, and then kind of by just watching, and he had Andy Campbell. I don't know if either of you know Andy Campbell, but he scored the goal for Cardiff against QPR in the playoff final when we got promoted in the Millennium Stadium.
Wow.
So he was doing a lot of shows with him.
He's getting guys on that guy, yeah.
We've had various other guests, ex-professionals and things. obviously Cardiff City players, and he's done live events down in Cardiff, tenner a ticket. So you know he's not in it to make silly money, but just to kind of grow a community through COVID. It was, and it's just carried on building and building. And
Superb.
you know, I've volunteered and I do a couple of things on Cardiff City a week, and I've done a couple on mental health as well. So.
Perhaps we can cross paths at some time, innit?
Yeah, I'll have a chat with him and
get
see,
something going. And,
I don't know how much football knowledge I got, mind. I'm pretty useless there. But,
I'm not very good, to be honest. World Cup, there's World Cup now. I'll watch the end stage of the World Cup. I think.
I drew Egypt in the Superscape, so I don't know what.
You look like you come from Egypt, eh? You look like Egypt,
Thanks, man. Somebody was a long angle there.
Thank you, Matthew, for your time.
Yeah,
good luck in your future, but you're a role model, you're an inspiration to other people around you from what you've been through, and I wish you all the best, man.
Yeah. Cheers, Matt.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Thank you, Matt. Cheers. Thank you.